Alright, this is 051 Notes, Graphing Inequalities. Directions are you are to draw a graph for each inequality. Objective, you'll be able to graph inequalities on a number line. So things you need to remember from middle school. Are when it's an open circle versus a closed circle. So on the left-hand side here, on the left-hand side of the black line, we have some inequalities. We have less than, we got greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. You can see the top two, right here and right here, these two are different from these two. The top two are less than and greater than, and the bottom two have the equals with the less than and greater than. So less than or equal to and greater than or equal to. The reason why is because they have a line underneath. And there's a little line underneath that little Pac-Man guy. That's when it's or equal to. So if you see a little line underneath it, that means you're going to have to fill in a dot. So we have a closed circle. When there's no line underneath, it's an open circle. For example, let's say we have x is less than 5. What we're going to be doing is that we're going to put an open circle at the number 5, and x is less than 5, so all the numbers that are less than 5, we're going to put an arrow in that direction. So less than 5, all the numbers that are less than 5 are to the left on our number line. Next one, let's say we have x is greater than 2. So that's an open circle, so we got to put an open circle at 2, and x is greater than, all the numbers that are greater than 2 are to the right. That's how we would do that. If we had less than or equal to 8, we know it's a closed circle because it has the equal to. So we got 8. We put a closed circle at 8. And its x is less than or equal to, so it's closed circle to the left. And if we have x is greater than or equal to, let's say 4, or better yet, let's do a negative number. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. Add negative 4 in our number line. We're going to have a closed circle. And since it's greater than or equal to, we go to the right. So make sure you remember, greater than is an arrow to the right, like you see here. Arrow to the right. Make it a little bit bigger. Less than is an arrow to the left, like you see there. So greater than is to the right, less than is to the left. So let's practice a few here. We have v is greater than or equal to negative 1. So we go to negative 1, we put a closed circle. V is greater than or equal to, well, greater than is to the right. That's all the numbers that are greater than negative 1. It's to the right on the number line. So you could always use this number line as a reference. Let's try another one. R is greater than negative 2. Well, we know that's an open circle. So we got to do an open circle at negative 2. So at negative 2, we do an open circle. While R is greater than the numbers greater than are to the right. And this one we have x is less than 2. Let's first see if you could do it on your own first. Alright, let's go over it. So this is an open circle at the number 2. So we go open circle at number 2. X is less than 2. Well, less than is to the left. Alright. So we could dive into this a little bit deeper too. So how do you know if it's less than or greater than? Well, I like to picture these little inequalities like little Pac-Man. I don't know if you ever remember that game. But when I was young, there was a little Pac-Man game where it was like a little yellow guy. And he had to eat those little ghosts. So we have a little Pac-Man. So the little Pac-Man mouth, you can see, is eating the number. Anytime it's eating the number or the back of the Pac-Man is not facing the variable, then it's going to be less than. If the little Pac-Man's eating the variable, then it's greater than. So in this case, the little Pac-Man, the back of the Pac-Man is not facing the variable, and the little Pac-Man is eating the number. So since it's eating the number on the other side, we know it's going to be less than. So we're going to make a closed circle at -3. Put that in blue. Closed circle at -3. And less than is to the left. I'll repeat myself. So you have x is greater than 6. So the little Pac-Man is eating the variable. So I know it's greater than. There is no equal to, so you know it's an open circle. So we go through our multiple choice here. A is at -6. Nope. We're working on +6, so we know A is not working. Looking at B, well, B is -6. You know that's not the correct answer because we were working on +6. C, 6. We know it's an open circle. Check. And greater than is to the right. Good. So we know C is the correct answer. Let's do another one with multiple choice. We have N. Well, the little Pac-Man guy's eating the variable, so since it's eating the variable, we know it's greater than. And since there's a little equal sign underneath, we know it's a closed circle at -4. So we go to -4. And so that's an open circle, so we know that's incorrect. So then A is not correct. B, good, there's a closed circle at -4. Greater than we know is to the right. Oh, they got an arrow to the right. So B is our correct answer. Look at number 7. We have P is greater than -3. There's a little Pac-Man guy's eating the P. So we know it's greater than. So we have +3. Well, we know that's not going to work. We know that there's no line underneath, so that's an open circle. So we look at B, an open circle at -3. Cool. And it's greater than, so it's to the right. So our answer is B, number 7. We'll do 3 more. So we have N is greater than or equal to -6. So since there's an equal to, we know it's a closed circle. The little Pac-Man guy's eating the variable, so we know it's greater than. And we're referring to -6. Well, this is a -6, that's a -6, that's a -6, that's a -6. So at least the dots on the correct number here for every single one. And we know it's a closed circle, so A and B can be eliminated because this needs to be a closed circle. And greater than is to the right. So our answer is C. For this one, we have R is less than 3. So we know it's an open circle. Less than because the variable is not being eaten by the monster. So we say less than. So we see that all these options are closed circle, the only open circle one is option A. So that's why my eyes went immediately to it. Less than is to the left, so it's all correct. Number 13, we have X is less than 1. So less than, we know it's an open circle. Since the Pac-Man's not in the variable, we know it's less than. And then at +1. What's at +1? It's an open circle, however, it's going to the right, so that's not less than. Looking at option B, we have a closed circle. That ain't working. Option C, well, it's an open circle. Good. Less than is to the left. Good, and it's at 1. So C is my correct answer. Alright, your classic creating homework. We're going to do 051, CW1. Notes for your classwork, or Google form for your classwork. And then your homework is going to be 051 HW1. Now, if you have any questions, feel free to come to Extra Help. I'll be happy to help you out. Or email me. I could even set up a Google chat, too. All right. Have yourself a good night.